So, if you've been on Twitter or Reddit or just about anywhere on the internet where the gaming community runs rampant, then you've probably seen people discussing a potential deal between Xbox and Nintendo. It's been long speculated that Xbox could possibly partner with Nintendo, and I decided I'd give my take on what I think could or couldn't be happening between the two companies, thanks to a suggestion for this topic from one of my subscribers, Joel Felix. So let's get right into this. So really, this is something that all started way back when we learned that Phil Spencer had the Xbox Series S sitting on his shelf in the background of one of his Zoom calls before the Series S was even announced. And ever since then, people have been keeping a very close eye at what pops up on his shelf. It's actually kind of ridiculous when I say it out loud, but it's also pretty awesome, and it's really a clever way to get people talking and speculating. I mean, just in the last few months, we've seen numerous things on his shelf, the most interesting of which was a Kojima Luden statue, which got people speculating a possible deal between Microsoft and Kojima Productions. And lo and behold, earlier this month, Jeff Grubb dropped a bombshell that he has sources and information that says Kojima is currently in talks with Xbox for a production deal on his next game, and that these talks are actually advanced to the point where the deal is actually now in the lawyer's hands. But then there's this whole Nintendo thing, because another thing that always seems to be on Phil Spencer's shelf as of late is a Nintendo Switch. And this leads a lot of people to believe that he could be hinting at some sort of partnership with Nintendo in the future. And I've got a few things to say about this, but before I say any of it, I want to make it totally clear that I'm not an insider. I have no sources feeding me any sort of info. I'm simply just a dude with a small YouTube channel. But let me just start with what I don't think this deal could possibly be, if there even is a deal. I don't think that there's any way that Nintendo will ever put their games on anything that isn't a Nintendo system. That's just not how they do their business. People know that if you want a Nintendo game, then you have to get a Nintendo. I also don't see Xbox giving Nintendo their games natively on a Nintendo system, even if there's a Nintendo Switch Pro coming down the pipeline. But I do think that this could be something involving Game Pass. So let me just break this down for a second real quick. Microsoft has all parts of the market cornered when it comes to gaming. They've got you covered if you want to play on a console, if you want to play on a PC, or even if you want to play on mobile. One thing that I and tons of other people have always thought they could use is an Xbox handheld. And now with xCloud, nearly any Android phone on the market is now a portable Xbox. But I think they could make this even better, because what is the best portable gaming device available right now? It's the Nintendo Switch. Hands down, it's the Nintendo Switch. And I could totally see Microsoft putting a first-party only version of Game Pass on Switch and letting people stream those games to their Switch instead of having to use a phone. And not only does this effectively give them an Xbox handheld, but it gives them massive inroads in Asian markets like China and Japan, where Phil Spencer has been very vocal about wanting to show support. And think about a newly acquired studio by Microsoft like Tango Gameworks, which is a Japanese developer releasing a brand new game into Xbox Game Pass, and it's available for people to stream it right to their Nintendo Switch or their Nintendo Switch Pro or whatever's out at the time. And we can even bring this full circle and go back to that Kojima rumor that I addressed in the beginning of the video. Could you imagine if Kojima and Microsoft came to an agreement for an Xbox platform exclusive, and now anyone with a Nintendo Switch and a Wi-Fi connection can play his latest game on the go? It's stuff like that that I could totally see happening if a deal were to take place between Nintendo and Xbox. And this, to me, is what puts Microsoft and Xbox ahead of the curve. You can say that PlayStation sells more consoles, or Nintendo sells more consoles, and you'd be 100% right. But that's not what Xbox is concerned with. They want to get their games to as many people as possible. They don't care if you're on a console, they don't care if you're on PC, they don't care if you're on your cell phone. All they care about is you opening up Xbox Game Pass and having fun and engaging with their content. But that's really all I gotta say about this. But what do you guys think? What do you think a potential Xbox and Nintendo deal would look like? Or do you even think there is a deal? Leave a comment below and let me know what you're thinking. Leave a like if you like the video, and remember to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content because it really helps out a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.